All right, we're just over a week from Anthony Joshua, Francis Ngannou. And I'm not doing a prediction video probably till about the week of the fight or maybe the weekend before the fight. But I want to give my 2 cents on how I think both guys, some of the key strengths they have. Now, in the past, I've done these videos and I've called them 3 reasons why, fighter A beats fighter B, and then obviously vice versa, 3 reasons why fighter B beats fighter A. It's basically you look at certain strengths in one fighter and you think, okay, if he uses this against this fighter, could give him a chance to win. I remember against Alexander Usyk, some of the things that I thought that Joshua should do, he didn't do. And I remember thinking, look, if he had done them, I'm not necessarily saying he would have gone and beaten Alexander Usyk, but I think he would have made the fight, certainly the first and the second fight, a lot more close. Now with this one against Ngannou, it's a bit easier, because with Usyk, you'd make Usyk the favourite. Certainly the second time you would. With this fight, Joshua's going to be going in, I would imagine, a heavy favourite. And, Francis Ngannou, prior to his fight with Tyson Fury, he'd not taken part in a professional Queensberry rules fight. He just hadn't. Yes, he had a background in boxing, but many, many years ago, he'd primarily been doing mixed martial arts since then. So with the Fury fight, a lot of people went in, myself included, not expecting much. We saw a very good performance by Francis Ngannou in defeat, it has to be said, in defeat. Nevertheless, still did a lot better than me and many others thought he would do. Now in this fight against Anthony Joshua, it is a little bit different because now we've seen Francis Ngannou, we've kind of seen what, not necessarily that we know what we're going to get, but we have an idea anyway. With Anthony Joshua, well, we kind of do know. He's been lately looking more along the lines of a boxer puncher in some fights, mainly just the boxer, like against Andy Ruiz in the rematch and kind of against Jermaine Franklin. But in his last fight against Otto Wallin, we saw Anthony Joshua look a lot better, put his shots together a lot better, and against someone who gave Tyson Fury, who was a big rival of Anthony Joshua, a lot of problems in their fight. Cut him up with a punch, with a different referee, maybe he'd have Tyson Fury as a win, on his resume, with a different referee, potentially. But Joshua went in there and was able to, to say didn't put a foot wrong, it wasn't even competitive. So with Joshua, we're seeing a little bit more of the old Joshua, letting his hands go, looking a bit more spiteful, and he's definitely growing in confidence, as you could see from both guys, really, quite frankly, at their respective face-to-face, which they filmed a couple of weeks ago. I think it was sometime in January. So going into this fight, for me, I still make Joshua a favourite. I make him quite a sizable favourite. But there is a part of me that really is looking forward to it because, when you get two big guys in the ring, primarily at heavyweight, you just don't really know, especially if both guys are going in looking to win. Listen, sometimes you could have a fight on paper that looks to be, a bit of a mismatch. And, one guy goes in, turns up, and the other guy just goes in looking for a paycheck. And you kind of think, any chance of an upset, you could tell after about 30 seconds is pretty much gone. With this fight, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think Ngannou is fighting with a sense of freedom almost, that, he has MMA to go back to, PFL. And this is just a case of him fighting two of arguably the top 3 heavyweights in the world, arguably. Alexander Usyk being the odd one out, and some might chuck his Zhilei Zhang in there, certainly beats Joseph Parker. So I think that this fight will be good. Now, in terms of, would you call it keys to victory, my 3 reasons why, whatever you want to call it, I'm starting with Anthony Joshua, and obviously I will do Francis Ngannou. I will try and get that out tomorrow, Wednesday, and at least that way we can see kind of where my head is at with regard to thinking before I obviously do a full prediction video, maybe on Friday or Saturday this coming week. We'll wait and see for that. But in terms of Anthony Joshua, my 3 reasons as to why I think he will beat Francis Ngannou, quite straightforward, to be honest with you. I'll show a few little clips. The first one really isn't so much a technical reason, it just should be common sense to the eye. Basically preparation, as you'll see on screen. Obviously, Joshua and Fury, they look very different physiques. Joshua is a lot lighter than Fury, but a lot more chiseled. You know, he has muscles where you don't think you can find muscles. Tyson Fury has never been the body beautiful type. He never will be. He doesn't really have the, what would you, he just have the frame for that. You know, maybe you could argue he doesn't even have the genetics for it, but he'll never be the body beautiful type. That doesn't mean he can't fight. Oh boy, can he fight. The reason why I say preparation is that throughout the course of Tyson Fury's career, even prior to him having the 2.5 year layoff, he has had, well, he's done it a lot, times where he's fluctuated in between fights. His weight has kind of gone up, it's gone down, it's gone up, it's gone up, and it's gone down again. He's done that a lot. And going into the fight against Francis Ngannou, when you saw the first press conference they had at London, it was just, it jumped out at you. Oh, Tyson Fury doesn't look in particularly good shape. It just jumped out at you. It wasn't something that, you know, you could look at and say, oh, maybe, you know. You could look at it and say, look, he doesn't look in particularly good shape. When he weighed in, he wasn't at his career heaviest, but he was still sizable. He was still heavier than he was in his previous two fights, which were against Dylan White and Derek Chisora, respectively, right? So you were able to, and as, even in the ring, aesthetically, he just didn't look the best. So you would look at that and say, okay, as good as Francis Ngannou's performance was, right, even in defeat, you would say, okay, Tyson Fury just, you know, he didn't train the way he needed to train. His preparation was probably less than ideal. He spoke about losing 100 pounds going into the fight. Now, do I believe that? No, you really know it was 100 pounds. But certainly, do I think he lost a sizable amount of weight? Wouldn't shock me if he lost the guts of maybe 2.5, maybe even 3 stone. Yeah, not quite 100 pounds, but still a lot of weight to shift nonetheless. And that would hinder you. And it seemed that way in the fight. That Fury just didn't really seem to have his legs with him. He just didn't have any bounce. And again, it could be part of him not preparing the way he needed to, maybe spending more time in camp getting the weight off as opposed to working on your boxing fundamentals. With Anthony Joshua, throughout his whole career, that's never been an issue. I've never seen Joshua out of shape. Yes, his weight has fluctuated, but that's really a case of how many weights does he do, or how many protein shakes has he had. It's not really a case of, you know, has he been, you know, living the life right outside training. No, he's always lived a clean life. He's always been in shape. He's always, you know, lived an athlete's lifestyle. So in terms of preparation, it might only be a small thing, but don't underestimate it. I mean, having ideal preparation can turn an easy fight into a hard fight real quick. Ask Tyson Fury. Right? So that is the first one. And you could say it's an obvious one, but it is one nonetheless. And I think it's one that a lot of people don't need to overlook because it's pretty flippin' obvious. Now, the second one is punching power. All right? Now, have a look there on screen. I've put in a few little snippets. They're only short. They are only short of Anthony Joshua going through the gears, setting some of his big shots up. And for me, you know, Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, who has been the better heavyweight? You know, Tyson Fury. Simple as. Out of the two, certainly when you look at their careers, who has been the better? It's been Tyson Fury. But does that mean he's better than Anthony Joshua in every way? Does he do everything better than Anthony Joshua? No, certainly not in my opinion. I think Anthony Joshua is a much better puncher than Tyson Fury. And I think when you look at the shots he's able to land and the way he's able to set up the shots, I mean, even if you see little snippets I put in with him against Kubrat Pulev, he's doing certain things in there that Tyson Fury doesn't do. He's setting shots up with jabs to the body, all right, which is doing, well, it's doing a few things actually. One, having a low hand jab into the body, all right, especially against someone like Ngannou, who, yes, he has had experience now as a professional, but he is still a novice. Having your left hand down low and jabbing to the body, you're always second guessing, because you're looking for the right hand, which is up there, but the left hand's down there. It's hitting you in the body, but you don't know, is it coming to the head? Is he hooking off the jab? What is he going to do? And it's something Joshua does, and does actually to very good effect. It's set up plenty of his knockouts in the past. Some against Pulev, Povetkin, and remember that was one of the key reasons as to why he won the fight, was he was able to really wear Povetkin down with jabs to the body to ultimately help set up the right hand, which is one of Anthony Joshua's best shots. And I think that the fact he's a very accurate puncher, punches very correct, he's very clean, he's able to switch to head and body. Again, against Tyson Fury, it was a really uncharacteristic fight for him. He just didn't seem himself in there at all. Is that an indication that he's a bit past it, or was it just preparation? A bit of both, I think, really, to be honest with you. But with Joshua, I don't think he's going to have that problem. And I think for Ngannou to be able to go in there against Tyson Fury, take some of his shots, and kind of think, okay, this is fine, I can do this. If he thinks he can do it against Anthony Joshua, he's in for a rude awakening. All right, now I'm not saying that the first meaningful shot Joshua lands, boom, he's gone. Not necessarily. Looks like Ngannou probably could take a pretty good shot, I would imagine. But it's only so long, especially when you're fighting someone the caliber of Anthony Joshua who hits as hard as he does, that eventually the punch resistance will start to give way. And I think the way, as I said, Joshua sets those shots up, that's actually what's going to happen. And the final reason is Joshua's inside game is so good. You know, with Joshua, you have to just look on screen there at some of the short punches he's landed on Kubrat Pulev. He's landing hooks, uppercuts, he's taking steps in, he's landing these combinations. He's a very good combination and counter puncher, is Anthony Joshua. Combination puncher and counter puncher, and he's good throwing these short shots. Again, which is something that Tyson Fury very seldom does. Certainly when it comes to short, clean shots up close. Tyson Fury is a long-range boxer. At times he can switch to kind of front foot pressure fighter, but not really is he going to be, you're not really going to be waiting for Tyson Fury. Yes, he has, like against Dylan White, knocked him out with uppercut, but he's not really going to be looking to go in close and land combinations up close, or, you know, take a step in, boom, land an uppercut, and then, oh, look, flurry combination. I've never really seen him do that. With Joshua, he has done it in the past. He does do it. It's actually part of his style. And he's quite good at it. He's very good up close. His hands are quite quick. And he throws very good short shots. And again, if Ngannou isn't preparing for them, if Ngannou is going in thinking it's going to be similar to what I did against Tyson Fury, I'm going to try and outbox the boxer, I don't think against Anthony Joshua that's going to work, quite frankly. I think that he is going to be in for a world of trouble if he tries that. So that's pretty much my 2 cents on this. If I had to say 3 reasons, and I can't say, as to why Anthony Joshua beats Francis Ngannou, preparation. The preparation wouldn't have stopped. He only fought on December 23rd. Power. Definitely hits harder than Tyson Fury. And better up close. Throws better short combinations than Tyson Fury. And these are things that I don't think Ngannou is going to be necessarily ready for. He might prepare for them, but I think on fight night, as Mike Tyson once said, everyone has a plan until they get hit in the face. I think he's going to find himself in trouble. Now, there are the 3 reasons why I think Joshua wins. But there are 3 reasons why I think Ngannou will win. And you're going to have to wait for that video. But I'm looking forward to doing that one as well, because that one is going to be fun. Because Ngannou, listen, anyone who is Ngannou's size, dimension, has his strength and power, especially when they're coming to win. And it's not just that they're coming to win. There's a few things there that are in my head with regards to thinking of this fight. And I'm looking forward to doing Ngannou. So, stay tuned for that one. But for now, there are 3 reasons why I think Anthony Joshua beats Francis Ngannou. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed it. I know people really tend to like these videos, certainly for the big fights. I like doing them. I like having a little looking back through old footage and, you know, piecing it together. I enjoy doing that as well. They're only small snippets. Apologies, but 5 seconds is the kind of sweet time. I'll leave it there. I hope you enjoyed it. People, smash the like button if you could, and subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. And for now, lads, unless I will leave it there. Peace.